Hi guys, Dr. Taito here and welcome back to Doctor's Gaming. I'm just trying to figure out what music has started here. Yeah, welcome to Doctor's Gaming. Today is another Doc's discussion session. Music is so soft I can barely hear it. I'm gonna need to change my volume a little bit. We've got Masters or Alchemist Lab on today. It's probably just the start of it to create some ambience. But yeah, welcome back to another D&D character creation session live with a few viewers. Hopefully the viewers that we need today are here. Last two sessions we have discussed how to create characters and backstories. I actually thought you wouldn't stream at all today. Like I said yesterday, I was going to be late today. I got here just in time at 9 o'clock, but I am here. We are here to talk about some D&D stuff. Welcome, Vinyl. We are definitely going to be talking some backstory today. We last time we created a character named Lilith, which we will go over to in a second. Talk a little bit about her. We've been going through the new player's guide here on D&D Beyond, trying to explain how it works and how we are going to do it. So we last week, this is creepy music. Last week we created a character, Tabaxi Bard, known as Lilith. So today we'll chat about uh, backstory, and she's possibly an anti-hero. Who knows? She's so anti-hero. I quickly, before I started, I checked through some pictures for her. So I have chosen one. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it exactly. I wanted to choose a nice black and white one, but that is not going to be really possible. But just you still can make a character one if you want to. If you squint, you can see it. I like it. It's not bad. But yeah, here she is. She's level 1 with 8 health. We're going to go through all of her stats today, but let's start off where we left last time. Are you excited? I'm excited. It's been a long time. It's been great. It's going to go great today, I think, as well. So let's recap quickly. Last time we chose a race, we chose a class, we determined the ability scores by rolling some dice. Today, I think, hopefully at some point, we'll be able to. Looks like a little like a Black Panther. Yeah, the weird thing is when I started searching for Tabaxi D&D characters that already exist, a lot of them started to look like furries. And I'm like, ooh, wait, stay away from furries. So, so I chose a little bit less obvious things. We don't want to see that right now. We know famous people are streaming as well. That's no problem. But here we go. We chose our race, we chose our class, we determined our ability scores by rolling some dice, and we described our character. We got a really, really good character. Like you say, Vinyl, it is a little bit of an anti-hero. Let's quickly check out what her personality traits are. So if I go to description here, you can find out that she's an entertainer. She can always find a place to perform, usually in an inn or a tavern, but possibly with a circus, at a theater, or even in a noble's court. At such a place, you receive free lodging and find food of a modest or comfortable standard, depending on the quality of the establishment, as long as you perform each night. It is somewhat furry material, so I get it. Yeah, that's true. In addition, your performance makes you something of a local figure. When strangers recognize you in a town where you have performed, they typically take a liking to you. So it's you're basically a traveling performer, which actually fits your race pretty well. I'm going to be reading through the race for you today to help you with your backstory. But the alignment we chose was chaotic neutral, so you could either be good or bad. You'll be changing your mood constantly because that's one of your traits. Um, you're a female. You've got blue eyes, medium, 2.1 meters. You've got a free spirit, black and white fur, and well groomed. You're 28 years old and 65 pounds. The personality traits that we decided to roll for you in the end was I get bitter if I'm not the center of attention. I change my mood or mind as quickly as I change key in a song. Ooh, this music is creepy. Greed, I'm only in it for the money and fame. So that's a bit of an evil trait. And I want to be famous whatever it takes. That's your bond. And I'm a sucker for a pretty face. We can still work on the appearance here if you want to put it in the appearance what you think that Lilith looks like. This is the Docs discussion sessions is as much your contribution as it is my contribution. So I would love to hear comments and questions and queries, especially since we've created this character together. But let's quickly go over here and see what the next step is. Oh, right, yes. Before I do that, I want to go to your character. What kind of tabaxi? What tabaxis are? What they mean? Where did I find that again? Volo's Guide to Monsters. There we go. Volo's Guide to Monsters. Tabaxi. So to understand what a tabaxi is, we're going to have to read through this for now. And then we'll go back to the main page and see what goes on there. Yeah, I still remember she barely got any hero trades exactly. Like I say, I think it's still going to work for her. I'm pretty positive that she's still going to be put into situations which makes her decide whether she's going to act good or bad. And when I was reading through this section today as well, I was like, ooh, actually, no, it was this section. There's some interesting things that come up with the fact that you're a tabaxi, which is really, really cool. So I think I read this part the last time. We had a tabaxi come through once, a few winters back. She kept the tap room packed each night with her stories and spent most days napping in a chair in front of a fireplace. We thought she was lazy, but when Lenine came around looking for a missing brooch, she was at the door before I could blink an eye. Uh, I mean, she got animal handling, so she might be animal friendly. Maybe. Let's actually check. Did she get animal handling? Yes, she's proficient in animal handling. Not bad. Oh, but look at that acrobatics score. +5 to acrobatics. That's really, really good. History +2, nice. Perception +2. Performance +3. So we're going to try and get her to perform a few times. Persuasion +3, that's not bad. Sleight of hand is really, really good, even though you're not proficient in it. Stealth +5. Ooh, you're a stealthy cat. Um, I mean, she got right. I'm reading two chats at once. Oops. Right, so let's find out what tabaxi are like. Hailing from a strange and distant land, wandering tabaxi are cat-like humanoids driven by curiosity to collect interesting artifacts, gather tales and stories, and lay eyes on all the world's wonders. Ultimate travelers, the inquisitive tabaxi rarely stay in one place for long. Their innate nature pushes them to leave no secrets uncovered, no treasures or legends lost. Like I say, already we have established that this is what all tabaxi are like. They are curious. They can be neutral. They can be everything that we said last time. So I think we're still good. Also, Vinyl, remember if you want to add anything for your character as well, if you've got a backstory, you can either paste it in chat here so I can copy it over to there, or we can chat about it as we go along. I remember that her main characteristic is charisma, but she isn't too strong. Yes, yes. If you check over here, she's very, very weak. She's got -1 to her strength modifier, got +3 to dexterity, which is really, really good. She's very dexterous. That was a main thing. Charisma, she's okay in. Constitution, she's basic. Her intelligence is just above basic, and her wisdom is also just above basic. So what we focused on was dexterity and charisma for her, which was great. Um, so you get tabaxi as wandering outcasts. Most tabaxi remain in their distant homeland, content to dwell in small, tight clans. These tabaxi hunt for food, craft goods, and largely keep to themselves. However, not all tabaxi are satisfied with such life. The Cat Lord, the divine figure responsible for the creation of the tabaxi, gives each of his children one specific feline trait. Those tabaxi gifted with curiosity are compelled to wander far and wide. They seek out stories, artifacts, and lore. Those who survive this period of wanderlust return home in their older years to share news of the outside world in this manner. In this manner, the tabaxi remain isolated but never ignorant of the world beyond their home. So we're going to get a few ways that tabaxi think and act, right? We've got barterers of lore, fleeting fancies, and tinkerers and minstrels. Now, as far as I can see, Lilith is mostly a minstrel. She's a bard who goes from place to place to perform and is in it for the money. Now, this is a little bit opposite to what tabaxi are. You'll see in a second. This first sentence here says tabaxi treasure knowledge rather than material things. It's always good to have a little bit of an outsider's perspective or an opposite thing of to what your race is. So it's good. It's a good way of explaining why your character is not at home at the moment, why she's adventuring or why she's out in the world exploring. Is her tribe might have decided, okay, look, she's way too money grabbing for us. We need to send her out and learn about the world, or something like that. So obviously, Lilith is one of the ones who isn't happy with her life. She has what she wants. She wants so much more. Exactly, exactly. She's gone out to search for her riches. So she's not a barterer of lore, but let's see. Funny thing is, I was considering making her an outcast. Then we can possibly make her an outcast. Let's add that into here, into her backstory. Um, so I'm going to add in here. Uh, we'll choose a clan for her in a second from a well-known Tabaxi clan in the mountains of where was it again? We'll check in a second. Blah 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 blah. Whoop, I should probably say blah 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 with a point 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 point. Uh, Now an outcast seeking her fortune. Her clan abandoned or abandoned her for her whoop, desire for treasure, feeling that she is not showing what it is to be part of their world. Something like that, right? So we already have a start to our backstory. We'll add in a few more things in a second, but that is why we were working on it today. A few typed words and you already have a backstory. 2 sentences, you already know what she's about. All right, so let's continue here. Yes, sounds about right. Cool. Tabaxi treasure knowledge rather than material things. A chest filled with gold coins might be useful to buy food or a coil of rope, but is not intrinsically interesting. In the Tabaxi's eyes, gathering wealth is like packing rations for a long trip. It's important to survive in the world, but not worth fussing over. Instead, Tabaxi value knowledge and new experiences. Their ears perk up in a busy tavern, and they tease out stories with offers of food, drink, and coin. Tabaxi might walk away with empty purses, but they mull over the stories and rumors they collected like a miser counting coins. So now the question is Lilith like all other Tabaxi? Would she rather spend all her money to try and get more knowledge and try and gather these secrets? Or is she going to hoard her money and use it when she wants to do? Because this is also something you can add into the backstory is unlike other Tabaxi, Lilith feels that something. This is where your help comes in. Is she feels that um, money is her part of happiness, or she feels that once she's made enough, she can do something with it. So I'll let you think that over a bit while I continue reading here. Although material wealth holds little attraction for the Tabaxi, they have an insatiable desire to find and inspect ancient relics, magical items, and other rare objects. Aside from the power such items might confer, a Tabaxi takes great joy in unraveling the story behind their creation and the history of their use. So that's also the one thing that could attract Lilith as well, I'm sure, is going to be a lot of treasures and a lot of loot. I think she's going to probably be looking for um, a way to make money first wherever she arrives, when she arrives at her first place, but it should be really, really interesting just to see how she reacts the first time. Uh, so yes, I'll add a sentence in there in a second. Right, so that is the first type of tabaxi you get is the ones that look for knowledge rather than treasure. I don't think she is like all of those kinds of tabaxi. We'll get to what tabaxi she is, I think. I've said tabaxi like 4 times already. Right, fleeting fancies. Wandering tabaxi are mercurial creatures, trading one obsession or passion. Oh, I should probably do this. Passion for the next, as the whim strikes. A tabaxi's desire burns bright, but once met, it disappears to be replaced with a new obsession. Objects remain intriguing only as long as they still hold secrets. I would say, since her character is naturally greedy, I would say either she wants all the money she can get simply to feel rich, or so she can buy fancy things to feel famous. Alright. Um, but desire for treasure, feeling that she is not sharing what it is to be part of their world. Um, Her obsession for fame has led to a desire to explore the outside world to find uh, a way to get rich and become famous. There we go. That's another sentence we could add into her backstory. Right. A tabaxi rogue, not a type that we think Lilith is, but seeing as we've already seen like in a character sheet here, she's got high stealth. Stealth means that you can conceal yourself from your enemies, slink past guards, slip away without being noticed, or sneak up on someone without being seen or heard. So a tabaxi rogue could happily spend months plotting to steal a strange gem from a noble, only to trade it for passage on a ship or a week's lodging after stealing it. The tabaxi might take extensive notes or memorize every facet of the gem before passing it on, but the gem holds no more allure once its secrets and nature have been laid bare. So I also don't think that she's a fleeting type of tabaxi. She's not going to give up her treasures as easily. She's maybe going to hoard some of it and spend it when necessary. When she knows that she's got no other choice, she might spend it. So she is definitely a different type of tabaxi, which is perfectly fine. It's always great to explore what it's like to be not, and then in character explain to other people, look, I'm not like all the other tabaxi, and they don't see me like that either, as they find me quite strange. So if she would ever interact with other species of her race, they might give her odd looks or might act differently with between her, which is a great way to play. Now here is the part where I think she probably fits in. Is curiosity drives most of the tabaxi found outside their homeland, but not all of them become adventurers. Tabaxi who seek a safer path to satisfy their obsession become wandering tinkers and minstrels. These tabaxi work in small troops, usually consisting of an elder, more experienced tabaxi who guides up to 4 young ones learning their way in the world. They travel in small, colorful wagons, moving from settlement to settlement. When they arrive, they set up a small stage in a public square where they sing, play instruments, tell stories, and offer exotic goods and trade for items that spark their interest. Tabaxi reluctantly accept gold, but they much prefer interesting objects or pieces of lore as payment. These wanderers keep to civilized realms, preferring to bargain instead of pursuing more dangerous methods of sating their curiosity. However, they aren't above a little discreet theft to get their claws on a particularly interesting item when an owner refuses to sell or trade. I think making her a thief would overdo the barrel. Look, the thing is, what's great about D&D, this is something here in gaining levels. As characters go on ventures, each character gains experience represented by experience points. A character who reaches a specified experience point total advances in capability. The advancement is called gaining a level. Now, what's great about D&D is once you gain a level, you can also decide whether you want to multi-class. You can become a bard rogue, you can become a bard barbarian, you can choose any of the other classes that exist as long as you've got the same stats for it. So if you've got a high stealth, you can at later level, once you become like second, third, or fourth level, you can take 1 level in rogue and 1 level in bard, or 2 levels in bard and 1 level in rogue, or you can just stay on the bard track as long as you want. So it depends on how you progress in the adventure, of course. But it's always possible that we can make her a rogue at a later stage. Right now, she's starting out as a bard, but how her story progresses is the interesting part. So that's good. Whoa, that's a fly. All right, and then we get to the section on the Cat Lord, which was mentioned above here. Um, the Cat Lord. The deity of the Tabaxi is a fickle entity, as befits the patron of cats. The Tabaxi believe that the Cat Lord wanders the world, watching over them and intervening in their affairs as needed. Clerics of the Cat Lords are rare and typically access the trickery domain. So it's also again up to you whether your belief in the Cat Lord is strong or not strong. That's something you can add into the backstory here. Um, you can you can have a particular focus on the cat lord itself. It sounds like the cat lord is interesting for you as well because he is from the trickery domain. That means that you're going to be trying to either trick people into stealing things or just do tricky stuff or sketchy things. So that's also still very, very good for our character. I I haven't seen anything against Lilith here, to be honest, except that she's got a few interesting traits and features, but I don't get the whole. Well, I don't think it's a whole problem at all. All right, so let's get to Tabaxi names. I think we're gonna add a surname to Lilith today based on what tribe she might be in. So the playing and performing makes sense, but it could be reversed. Instead of items, she wants gold and uh, of we really go to the rogue way. If we really go the rogue way, maybe she could pickpocket when she has the chance. Exactly. That's the thing. Is instead of getting the lore for the items, um, let's say Lilith has an obsession. Has a unique view on gathering gold. Oh, great. Well, that's great. Um, Unlike her peers, no, that's not how you spell peers. Unlike her peers, um, she would much rather pickpocket someone than try and gather stories or bits of lore. The gold is more important to her than any of the frivolous tales that people would tell. There we go. Now that Catlord pod is difficult. Why is the Catlord pod difficult? Let's go back to the Catlord. Hey, welcome back, Streamlabs. Why do I have a copyright claim on my... Oh well, whatever. We'll check out the copyright claim later. Um, is it difficult to choose whether you're going to be leaving him, or is it difficult to choose whether... Because the thing is, okay, so the work of the gods in D&D is a lot of the times up to the dungeon master himself or up to the character. Um, but a lot of the times the gods do interfere in the plans of whichever character it is. So I could make it that that she's pestered by the cat lord the whole time to do something, or or there could be something that you feel that the cat lord has to do with it. Uh, but I found from playing a few sessions that sometimes it's good to have either a good or bad relationship with the deities here because it is intrinsically part of it. They have a say in it, so it's not bad to have it there, I think. But we'll make a choice here. All right, let's get to tabaxi names. Um, each tabaxi has a single name determined by clan and based on a complex formula that involves astrology, prophecy, clan history, and other esoteric factors. Tabaxi names can apply to both males and females, and most use nicknames derived or inspired by their full names. We've already got a nickname for her, she's Lilith, or we could try and get one that sounds like Lilith in here. I can't really decide if Lilith is the sort of person who believes. Okay, that's something we can work with or work through. Clan names are usually based on geographical feature located in or near the clan's territory. The following list of example tabaxi names includes nicknames in parentheses. So these ones would be the nicknames, this would be the full name. So tabaxi names would be Cloud on the Mountaintop, which would be Cloud. 5 Timber. This is why I think we choose one of these as a surname for her, which she would introduce herself as Lilith Cloud, or Lilith Timber, or Lilith Jade, or Lilith Bird, or Lilith Thunder, or Lilith Snake, or Lilith Smoke. So Cloud on the Mountaintop, 5 Timber, Jade Shoe, Left-Handed Hummingbird, 7 Thundercloud, Skirt of Snakes, or Smoking Mirror. Either that, or we can choose that she's from a Tabaxi clan known as Bright Cliffs, Distant Rain, Mountain Tree, Rumbling River, or Snoring Mountain. And that we can at least add here at the start where we said originally from a well-known Tabaxi clan in the mountains of, or in the rivers of, now an outcast seeking her fortune. So yep, either cloud, timber, jade, bird, thunder, snake, or smoke. It's up to you. Something I will add here is, so like I said, I think the other day, is a lot of these stories in D&D revolve around the Forgotten Realms. So here is particularly something that will help you, is in the Forgotten Realms, Tabaxi hail from Mastika, a realm located far across the ocean west of the Sword Coast. The Tabaxi of Mastika are known for their isolation, and until recently they never ventured from their homeland. The Tabaxi say little of why that has changed, though rumors persist of strange happenings in that distant land. So we know that they are somewhere from Mastika. It just depends on which area it is, whether it's a mountain, river, uh, or cliffs. Okay, I'm going to change the music quickly. Let's go to Carnival again. I liked Carnival last time. Alright, so Snake. We'll make Snake. That's a good thing. Skirt of Snake. Snakes fits her. So we're going to say she's Lilith Snake or just from the mountains of the Snake Clan. Let's see. Whoa, that's too loud. There we go. That sounds better. Let's see. Origin from a well-known Tabaxi clan in the mountains or the rivers or the... Ah, I know. Okay, Mountains of the Snake Clan. Alright, cool. Mountains of the Snake Clan. Now an outcast seeking her fortune. Her clan abandoned her for her desire. Her clan abandoned her for her desire for treasure, feeling that she is not showing what it is to be part of their world. Her obsession for fame has led her to desire to has led her to explore. Let me just get this English proper. Has led her to explore the outside world to find a way to get rich and become famous. Lilith has a unique view on gathering gold. Unlike her peers, she would much rather pickpocket someone than try and gather stories or bits of lore. The gold is more important to her than any of the frivolous tales that people would tell. Her relationship, well, that's just Cloudbot, with the Cat Lord is undecided, but she has uh, heard its voice at certain moments during her performances. There we go. That's a way to bring in the Cat Lord without making her decide whether she um, likes him or not. These these the feel the what? Yeah, the feeling she gets when this happens lead her to her next destination. And her hope is that there is always more gold in the end. There we go. Okay, so we've got Tabaxi personality. A Tabaxi might have motivations and quirks much different from a dwarf or an elf with a similar background. You can use the following tables to customize your character in addition to the trait. ideal, bond, and flaw from your background. This is where it also gets interesting. This is something that you can add every time you replay or play a session. You can add this to her obsession. So you can roll a d8 or a d10, and every now and then her personality changes. This is where it comes in that we had here earlier under her description, I think, is I change my mood on my mind as quickly as I change a key in a song. You can decide, okay, this session I'm going to have this obsession or this quirk, and I'm going to read through those quirks in a second. So I'm liking this, and I think we're going to roll for ones today. So Tabaxi might have motivations and quirks much different from a dwarf. I've already read that. The Tabaxi obsession table can help hone your character's goals. For extra fun, roll a new result every few days that pass in the campaign to reflect your ever-changing curiosity. It's really, really interesting. It's something that I don't see with other races. So my curiosity is currently fixed on number 1, a god or planar entity. Number 2, a monster. Number 3, a lost civilization. Number 4, a wizard's secrets. Number 5, a mundane item. Number 6, a magic item. Number 7, a location. And number 8, a legend or a tale. So some of these obviously won't fit her character, but I think it is still worth adding that into the first time you play with her, the first session you have with her. We'll add in here. Are we going to, let's put it under other. Her current obsession is, let's roll a d8, see where that lands. I could actually have you roll a d8. Just say exclamation gamble 8 and see what happens. You're gonna either win or lose points, but I think it's good if you roll it instead of me. So I figured out that that is the closest thing to rolling we're gonna get on this chat. Good thing there's no pure obsession on money. She would 1,000 times get that exactly. Okay, let's see if Cloudbot allows that. Otherwise, you're gonna have to go exclamation gamble 80, which is gonna be sad, but I'm sorry. Yeah, Cloudbot doesn't want to accept gamble 8. Why, Cloudbot? Why? Because I think the minimum here we can have is 10, which is sad. I'm sorry. But you either get the points or you lose the points. That's the way this one's set. Oh yeah, that's true. You do have the points to gamble. Rolled 39. Berry straw. So that's 40. We're gonna round up. You always round up in D&D. So you've got number 4. A wizard's secrets. So your current obsession is a wizard's secrets. So I, as a DM, will obviously add in which wizard it is, or at a later stage, if you find a wizard during your adventure, you'll become obsessed with just finding out what that wizard's secrets and why he's holding that particular secrets. It was so with 39, it would have either been a lost civilization or a wizard's secret, but I think because it's higher, we're going to go with wizard's secrets. Right, so that's your current obsession. Great. Hey, we're getting a really, really good character here. And then the next thing is her quirk. So roll a d100 for me, please. Oh, gamble 100. I like that obsession too. Actually, yeah. Let's roll a gamble 100. I wanted to gamble another 80, but I think let's do the quirk first. I wanted to give you 2 obsessions, but the 2 obsessions might be too much. Let's just keep 1 obsession for a time. Ooh, so here you can either you miss your tropical home and complain endlessly about the freezing weather, even in summer. You never wear the same outfit twice unless you absolutely must. You have a minor phobia of water and hate getting wet. I wonder where that came from. I think Cloudbot is on his cooldown. I'll check what the cooldown is. If we roll 30, between 30 and 35, I would laugh so much. Your tail always betrays your inner thoughts. Ooh, that would be interesting. You purr loudly when you are happy. You keep a small ball of yarn in your hand which you constantly fidget with. You're always in debt since you spend your gold on lavish parties and gifts for friends. That could be interesting. When talking about something you're obsessed with, you speak quickly and never pause and others can't understand you. Don't get 3, don't get 3, don't get 3. I would laugh so much. You're a font of random trivia from the lore and stories you have discovered. You can't help but pocket interesting objects you come across. Ooh, ooh, I can see some good ones here. Let me quickly go to Cloudbot and see what he's set on for his gambling. Gamblies. Commands. Defaults. Where are you? Heist vote. We want to lower gamble. The cooldown for gamble. Advanced. User cooldown. Whoa, that's a long cooldown. Give me 20 seconds, please. Confirm. That was like 300 seconds for a cooldown. That's way too much. We're back here. Back to restream. Alright, let's try. Well, we'll try in a second. Alright, so last time we went through the Tabaxi traits, but we're going to go through it again one more time while we wait for the cooldown. So your character has the following racial traits. Your dexterity score increases by 2 and your charisma score increases by 1. This is why you've got a big charisma. If I get 3, I will be convinced that I'm cursed. I would be so happy. You also saw that Tabaxi have lifespans equivalent to humans. That's why when you say you're 28, you are actually 28. Your alignment tends toward chaotic alignments as they let impulse and fancy guide their decisions. They are rarely evil, with most of them driven by curiosity rather than greed or other dark impulses. Tabaxi are taller on average than humans and relatively slender. Your size is medium. Your base walking speed is 30 feet. Most creatures has a 30 feet movement speed, so that's basic. The great thing about a Tabaxi is they've got dark vision. So you have cat's eyes. You've got a cat's keen eyes, especially in the dark. You can see in dim light within 60 feet of you, as if it were bright light, and in darkness as if it were dim light. You can't discern color in darkness, only shades of gray. And then your reflexes and agility allow you to move with a burst of speed. This is actually a great thing, is when you move on your turn in combat, you can double your speed until the end of the turn. Once you use this trait, you can't use it again until you move 0 feet on one of your turns. So you can, instead of moving 30 feet, you can move 60 feet once per turn until you stop again. Right, let's see if Cloudbot is awake again. I'm going to read Cat's Claws. So gamble 100 for us, please. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, if I finally have a reason to spend your points. Is I'm going to, at certain points, tell you to gamble. And that represents rolling the dice. It's actually, I think it's a good idea. If it works, please let it work. Please let it work. Come on, Cloudbot. I need to find a way to make you work. There we go. You rolled a 60, so you're gonna have 6 as your trait. You're gonna be a cat. You keep a small ball of yarn in your hand, which you constantly fidget with. So yeah, either you purr loudly or you you keep a small ball of yarn. Good thing I farmed up so many points. Exactly. I think that would be so. When we do have like an adventure for you, I think that would be a really good way to get that adventure. Right, there we go. You keep a small ball of yarn in your hand, which you constantly fidget with. At least that's not the water one. Ah, I forgot to save. Paste. Hello. Save. There we go. Save. Should have entered. Okay. Is there anything you would like to add? There's one more cat's claws. I actually like this one. That's cute. Yeah, it's not a bad one. It's a good one to explain. Right. So with your cat's claws, you don't actually necessarily need weapons for a start, because you've got claws. So you have a climbing. You can climb 20 feet up into the air, which a lot of creatures don't have. Humans don't have that. They can't climb up 20 feet. They have to jump and use acrobatics. So you can automatically climb to 20 feet. And 20 feet is a lot of space in D&D terms. In addition, your claws are natural weapons, which you can use to make unarmed strike. So if you hit with them, you deal damage equal to 1d4 plus your strength modifier instead of the bludgeoning damage normal for an unarmed strike. So that means you don't necessarily need a weapon to start your adventure off with, because you already have the claws to attack for 1d4 of damage. It's a pretty low, because a lot of the weapons that you can buy is 1d6 or 1d8, but it's not bad. And as we know, she's already got 130 gold. You can speak, read, and write common and other language of your choice. That's something we do have to choose, is what other language of your choice do you want to speak. So let's quickly go to edit character and see what languages we have. Do 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 do. Class features, hit points, proficiency, spellcasting, bardic inspiration. Where is my languages? Hello? Ah, there we go. That's the one. Okay, we've got a lot of languages to choose from. Better have a weapon than no weapon. All right, so we'll go when we make the choice for equipment. I'll ask you what kind of weapon you do want, and then we'll have to buy that weapon, unfortunately. So we'll have to spend some of the gold you have, but weapons won't be like massively expensive. It's going to be silver pieces or gold pieces. Right, so the languages you have here is Abyssal, Celestial, Deep Speech, Draconic, Dwarvish, Elvish, Giant, Gith, Gnomish, Goblin, Halfling, Infernal, Kroll, Loxodon, Minotaur, Orc, Primordial, Sylvan, or Undercommon. So depending on which adventure you're going to and which people you're speaking, sometimes there'll be writing, there'll be speech, someone will speak in a different language. So you got the choice here of which language you'll think will help you in your adventure. We are going to the lands of Chult, which is a jungle area, but there are a lot of different species over there and a lot of different people who speak. So it's definitely up to you which language you think will be the most common there. Do 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 do. This is still I'm still enjoying this. This is one of the most interesting ways to play D&D. I've had so many ideas of how to play this online without an actual group of people, but just with chat. It's really easy. Now I'm glad that Cloudbot allows for you just to roll a dice. I want to figure out how to just get it to roll 20 instead of roll 100 because that's going to be a lot of points to spend. A lot of points to spend. So if you have a choice of different ones, let me know, and I will recommend one that I think might be better. If I would have chosen, I might have gone for Elvish, Dwarvish, Goblin, or Gnomish, or Halfling. Those are the common ones. Orcish, Sylvan Primordial, Undercommon. Depends on if you're going to go underground and deep. And if you're Abyssal or Celestial, it depends on whether you're going to a hellish landscape or something like that. Giant could be good. I'm not sure if there would be many giants within the jungles of Chult. Kroll, Loxodon, and Minotaur you should not choose at all because they wouldn't help you at all with this adventure. Same for Vidalcan. So which language do you think is good? Do 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 do. Yeah, that's why I like this music. Hmm. I'm going to go with Halfling. Nice. Dun, dun, dun. Halfling. Cool. That's an interesting. Yeah, that's it. So we'll definitely in story terms you can say that the time that you've adventured you've mostly spoken or performed for halflings. Let's actually add that into your character backstory. Um, Description notes backstory. The time spent with your traveling companions have been mostly around halfling cities and uh, inns, allowing you to become fluent in understanding most halfling. Most halflings. There we go. Excellent. So we're going to add in here at allies, we'll add halfling. We could choose an ally at a later stage. Halfling, tabaxi, and we don't really have enemies just yet, so we don't need to add enemies unless there is a natural enemy to it, but I don't think there is. Organizations would be most traveling groups, and inns would accept Lilith if she promises to perform for the evening. Excellent. Save. Any extras? No, we don't have extras here. Description. See, I think we have most what we need because we are finished with the traits of just Tabaxi itself. We have a basic backstory, and unless you want to add anything else, we have a really good enough backstory already. I'm liking it. It's telling us what she wants to do and how she wants to move along with it. So let's continue here. So other key character mechanics. I think here answer to that promise would be as long as there's money involved, I'll play as long as you want. Yeah, okay, that's true. Yes, yes, yes. Let's add to this. As long as there is a decent pay involved. That is very true. I do have to remember that she wants to gather as much gold as possible. Right, so hit points and hit dice. Your character's hit points define how tough your character is in combat and other dangerous situations. Your hit points are determined by your hit dice, short for hit point dice. After you rest, you can spend hit dice to regain hit points. So let's quickly go to the character sheet over here. Here you can see you've got 8 hit points, that is your health. And if you take damage, you take it off of here. So you minimize, or you say, okay, I have to be careful with I took 2 damage. I'll take 2 damage, or I heal 2 damage, and that's how you determine it. You can also take a short or a long rest, which is, where are you? Short, long rest. Nope. I've forgotten where short and long rest is. Actions. Oh, there we go, right above me. Is if you take a short rest, you can decide to use your hit dice to recover hit points. So a short rest is a period of downtime, at least 1 hour long, during which a character does nothing more strenuous than eating, drinking, reading, and tending to wounds. The more levels you have, the more hit dice you have to spend as well. So if you've taken damage, a little bit of damage, and you've got time to rest, you can rest, use as many hit dice as you like for that short rest, and then that is it. Or if you are out of spells for the day, or if you really need to rest for the evening, you can, because you can only usually take like 2 or 3 short rests per day. It doesn't matter how many short rests you take per day, but you do need to take a long rest at some point, otherwise you become exhausted. A long rest is a period of extended downtime, at least 8 hours long, during which a character sleeps or performs light activity, reading, talking, eating, or standing watch for no more than 2 hours. If the rest is interrupted by a period of strenuous activity, at least 1 hour of walking, fighting, casting spells, or similar adventuring activities, the characters must begin the rest again to gain any benefit from it. So this is when you're sleeping, basically. Then, once you sleep, you recover all of your hit points and you recover your spells. So, we are going to be talking about spells right now. Spells, as a bard, Lilith does have spells. Here you can see she's got 2 spell slots per day. Once you've expended both those spell slots, you have to take a long rest to regain them. So you just say take long rest and you'll regain those long rests. If you would take a short rest, you don't regain any of those spells. So, we're talking about spells over here. Spells consist of cantrips and first, second, third, fourth, fifth to ninth level spells. Cantrips you can cast without using any of these slots. You can just cast them at any time, depending on whether it's an action or a bonus action. That's something else. But that should be explained over here. Let's just quickly go here. Attack rolls, saving throws. No, that's not even explained here. But yes, spells are known as cantrips and regular spells. First level, second level, third level spells. So cantrips you can do anytime. So we're going to quickly go through the cantrips you know as a bard. You've got something called Blade Ward, Dancing Lights, Friends, Light, Mage Hand, Mending, Message, Minor Illusion, Prestidigitation, Thunderclap, True Strike, Vicious Mockery. You are allowed to choose 2 cantrips at your level. So this is going to take a while, but I'm going to quickly read through all of the. You can quickly check through here and tell me which one sounds interesting to you. This one I'll definitely explain. This one's a really, really long one, but it's a really, really cool one. Prestidigitation is the one most people choose. That or Dancing Lights or whatever. You can choose these spells, and then when you take a long rest, you can reorganize your spells as well. I'm going to quickly highlight all of the spells you can choose for cantrips, and you can tell me which 2, 3, or 4 sound interesting to you. But as a bard, you can cast any of these spells at any time. So Blade Ward. Blade Ward is basically a protection from other people's blades. It's a magical barrier that stops a bit of the blade damage, as far as I remember. So you extend your hand and trace a sigil of warding in the air. Until the end of your next turn, you have resistance against bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing damage dealt by weapon attacks. So if anyone would attack you with a regular sword or a mace or something that bludgeons, pierces, or anything, you take half of that damage, I think. Yes, you have resistance against bludgeoning damage. Dancing Lights is you create up to 4 torch-sized lights within range, making them appear as torches, lanterns, or glowing orbs that hover in the air for the duration. You can also combine the 4 lights into one glowing, vaguely humanoid form of medium size, whichever form you choose. Each light sheds dim light in 10-foot radius. So it's just basically some lights. For you, though, because you've got dark vision, you don't necessarily need those. You can make friends with someone. So for the duration, you have advantage on all charisma checks directed at one creature of your choice that isn't hostile towards you. When the spell ends, the creature realizes that you used magic to influence its mood and becomes hostile toward you. A creature prone to violence might attack you. Another creature might seek retribution in other ways, depending on the nature of your interaction with them. It's a good spell to have because you know you've got 13 charisma, but knowing that once you've cast the spell and once it's finished and it's up to 1 minute, it could be a dangerous spell to have. Light gives you more light. Mage Hand is a useful spell because, especially for sneaky type people, this is a spectral floating hand that appears at a point where you choose. The hand lasts for the duration or until you dismiss it as an action. The hand vanishes if it is ever more than 30 feet away from you or if you cast the spell again. You can use your action to control the hand. You can use the hand to manipulate an object, open an unlocked door or container, stow or retrieve an item from an open container, or pour the contents out of a vial. You can move the hand up to 30 feet each time you use it. The hand can't attack, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds. But it's still a good spell to have, right? Mending repairs small tears and small cuts and small things on items or anything that's broken, but it's only a small area, so it's 1 foot in any dimension. Message is you point your finger toward a creature within range and whisper a message. The target hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear. You can cast the spell through solid objects if you're familiar with the target and know it is beyond the barrier. Blah, 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 blah. Those are extra other things. Minor illusion. You create a sound or image of an object within range that lasts for the duration. So this is minor illusions. You can create something like a necklace or a ball or something that's small and make someone think it's there or not. It's going to be a soundless thing, so it's not going to make any noise, but it's still a really, really interesting spell. Prestidigitation is one of my favorite spells and most people's favorite spells because this is the spell that allows you to clean yourself if you're dirty or dirty someone else if you like to. So it's got many, many uses. You can snuff out lights. You can instantaneously light or snuff out a candle. You can instantaneously clean or soil an object larger than 1 cubic foot. Yeah, they do. You can chill or warm or flavor up 1 cubic foot of non-living material for 1 hour. You make a color or a small mark or a symbol appear on an object or a surface for 1 hour. You create a non-magical trinket or an illusory image that can fit in your hand and that lasts until the end of your next turn. So this is a spell that most people choose because they like to, when they get dirty, clean themselves up, or you can do many things with it. You create instantaneous harmless sensory effects such as shower of sparks, a puff of wind, faint musical notes, or an odd odor. So this one's also good for you as a musician because you can make extra sound from this. Or a shower of sparks once you finish your performance, you just go pew pew pew, or puff of smoke, or make. I'm going to make you learn this one, just as is. You've got a choice on another one, but I think prestidigitation will really help you. Thunderclap. Thunderclap is you create a burst of thunderous sound that can be heard up to 100 feet away. Each creature within range other than you must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or take 1d6 thunder damage. Okay then, sorry, but I had to. True Strike. So here you start getting the ones that deal damage. You point a finger at a target in range. Your magic grants you a brief insight into the target's defenses. On your next turn, you gain advantage on a first attack roll against the target. Okay, so this allows you to deal extra damage or have a chance to deal damage on your next turn. I'll explain how attacking and defending and all those kinds of things work in another video. We're still doing background here. A True Strike. That's the one I just read. Of Vicious Mockery is one that some people also use a lot of the time as bards, because you unleash a string of insults laced with subtle enchantments at a creature you can see within range. If the target can hear you, it must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or take 1d4 psychic damage and have disadvantage on the next attack roll. It makes before the end of its next turn. This spell's damage increases by 1d4 when you reach 5th level, 11th and 17th level. So you can insult someone and they take damage, but like you can say you are ugly, and if they fail their save, they're like, ah, you hurt me so much. It's a hilarious one to roleplay. But those are the cantrips that you can learn. So I'm going to give you one choice for either Blade Ward, Dancing Lights, Friends, Lights, Mage Hand, Mending, Message, Minor Illusion, Thunderclap, True Strike, or Vicious Mockery. Bloop, 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 bloop. Bloop, 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 bloop. The Mockery one would fit her character, however, I decided to go with Mage Hand. Nice, Mage Hand is also a really good one. Both of those are really, really good spells, because you can do so many things with it. So, like I said, these two spells, you can cast at any time you want. It is usually one action. We'll talk about actions and bonus actions at a later stage, but it's basically you've got 6 seconds to cast these things in, and it's got lots of uses. Good choices, good choices. Right, now, let's see. We want to go for first level spells. Here you can choose 4 of them, which is a little bit crazy, especially since we're doing this live. But we'll choose those 4. So, Animal Friendship, Bane, Charm Person, Comprehend Languages, Cure Wounds, which would be great, Detect Magic, Disguise Self, Dissonant Whispers, Earth Tremor, Fairy Fire, Featherfall, Healing Word, Heroism, Hideous Laughter, Identify, Illusory Script, Long Strider, Silent Image, Sleep, Speak with Animals, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, Thunder Wave, or Unseen Servant. I can also see Lilith doing any of these, or many of these. Really, really cool and really interesting. So like I said, Cure Wounds, obviously, when you start taking damage, geez, that's a lot. I know that's so many. But the thing is, you're going to be choosing 4 out of these here. So that is quite a few. So I'm going to be choosing 2, and I think you're going to be choosing 2. That way we can make this a little bit quicker. So I'll definitely go for Cure Wounds, I think. Because a creature you touch regains a number of hit points equal to 1d8 your spellcasting ability modifier. This spell has no effect on undead or constructs. So you can touch yourself or you can touch someone else and you will heal them. Remember that any of these spells you do use takes up a slot. These are first level spells, so you have to choose exactly when to use it. So these kinds of spells you use against like when you're fighting the big bad guy for that session, or you know you're up against something really really tough. You try and save these spells. Um, and Thunder Wave maybe. So a wave of thunderous force sweeps out from you. Each creature in a 15-foot cube originating from you must make a Constitution saving throw. On a failed save, a creature takes 2d8 thunder damage and is pushed 10 feet away from you. On a successful save, the creature takes half as much damage. In addition, unsecured objects that are completely within the area of effect are automatically pushed 10 feet away from you by the spell's effect, and the spell emits a thunderous boom audible at 300 feet. So I like thunder wave as well, because it's literally a wave of thunder that originates from you and just goes and pushes things away. Yes, I think I'm gonna choose thunder wave. Right, any of those that did jump out at you before I start reading through all of these, because these are so many. And then I'll read those for you. So the ones we have left is Animal Friendship, Bane, Charm Person, Comprehend Languages, Detect Magic, Disguise Self, Dissonant Whispers, Earth Tremor, Fairy Fire, Feather Fall, Healing Word, Heroism, Hideous Laughter, Identify, Illusory Script, Longstrider, Silent Image, Sleep, Speak with Animals, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, or Unseen Servant. Ooh, interesting. What did do? Four sound interesting to me, which are Animal Friendship, Charm Person, Hideous Laughter, and Unseen Servant. Alright, cool, let's go for those. So, Animal Friendship. This spell lets you convince a beast that you mean it no harm. Choose a beast that you can see within range. So, beasts are specific types of creatures there are. They're humanoid beasts, um, many different types of creatures. I can't remember all of them. But if you know that that creature is a beast type, like a wolf or a bear or something, you can uh, choose a beast that you can see within range. It must see and hear you. If the beast's intelligence is 4 or higher, the spell fails. So you do try and target a beast that's a little bit stupid, so rats or smallish creatures. Otherwise, the beast must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you for the spell's duration. If you or one of your companions harms the target, the spell ends. That's Animal Friendship. Then we have Charm Person. So a person would be a humanoid. You attempt to charm a humanoid you can see within range. It must make a wisdom saving throw and does so with advantage. If you or your companions are fighting it, if you or your companions are fighting it. If it fails the saving throw, it is charmed by you until the spell ends or until you or your companions do anything harmful to it. The charmed creature regards you as a friendly acquaintance. When the spell ends, the creature knows it was charmed by you. So it's very similar to Friends we had earlier, but this is a little bit stronger. And then Hideous Laughter. Tatasha's Hideous Laughter is another good one. A creature of your choice that you can see within range perceives everything as hilariously funny and falls into fits of laughter if this spell affects it. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or fall prone, becoming incapacitated and unable to stand for the duration. A creature with an intelligence score of 4 or less isn't affected. At the end of each of its turns and each time it takes damage, that target can make another wisdom saving throw. The target has advantage on the saving throw if it's targeted by damage, um, triggered by damage. On a success spell fails. So you're literally forcing someone to fall prone or fall on the backs laughing so much if they fail their saving throw. That's always a great spell. And then the final one we have is Unseen Servant. This spell creates an invisible, mindless, shapeless, medium force that performs simple tasks at your command until the spell ends. The servant springs into existence in an unoccupied space on the ground within range. It has an armor class of 10, 1 hit point, and strength of 2, and it can't attack. If it drops to 0 hit points, the spell ends. Once on each of your turns, as a bonus action, you can mentally command the servant to move up to 15 feet and interact with an object. The servant can perform simple tasks that a human servant could do, such as fetching things, cleaning, mending, folding clothes, lighting fires, serving food, and pouring wine. Once you give the command, the servant performs the task to the best of its abilities until it completes the task, then waits for your next command. If you command the servant to perform a task that would move it more than 60 feet away from you, the spell ends. Interesting, really interesting spells. Or which two of those do you like? Change the music a little bit again. Deep. Go for Age of Steam. Alright, then let's go with Charm Person and Hideous Laughter. Awesome. Charm Person and Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Good spells. Nice. Alright, so these are all. So you've got one spell here that's got concentration, so that means you have to concentrate on the spell. If you take damage, you have to roll to see if you still have the spell, but that's okay. But that's not bad, and all of these are actions. And you can use them 2 times a day, or 2 times between long rests. Any of these 4 spells. Excellent. Awesome. Alright, we haven't gotten to explaining the rest of these pages, but you've learned quite a lot today, actually. You know that you've got these skills. You know they've got 8, what your hit points are like. You know what kind of spells you have, and we do have an excellent backstory. So I think that is excellent for today. Next week, we will discuss the playing the game, so how to play and how those rules work, as well as getting into the first story. I'm liking this more and more as well. We might also at some point create Bob online as well, so we'll work together to create Bob, because I think that at some point she'll need a companion. It's not necessarily that he's going to stay there, but I will try obviously make a one shot for one person, but Bob would be great just to see what he comes out as, and if she meets him, she meets him. So I hope you enjoyed this. I had a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me for this session. It was a lot of fun. Do that, and I will ship them to the no end. It depends on how Bob comes out, because I'm not sure he's going to come out exactly the way we think, but I hope he does come out really, really awesomely. So next time, yeah, we'll work on all of these kinds of things and what they mean. Saving throws, senses, skills, and actions. And we will also choose some equipment for her. So we'll probably go through the list of equipment there is, or try and figure out what she might want for her adventure. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Tomorrow is going to be Spyro. We're going to return to some more Spyro tomorrow. And At some point, I'm going to be playing some more MTG. I might have some random streams in between. I'm still deciding whether I want to stream a little bit more tonight because I do have a little bit more time. But I'm going to take a little bit of a break here. So I might see you later, I might not see you later. Who knows? Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment and a like. I'll see you guys next time.